We have some other constructions that can also be used to exit blocks. And we can exit the while block with a break statement. And what happens is this while loop will continue to go. And if for some reason the sum gets bigger than 100, we can break out. So what we can do is we can have this thing running so that if two conditions are happening, we have our comparison condition, which is happening on number. But if the sum also gets bigger than another value, this break statement exits the while loop also. And so break is a command or a statement within Java that will exit a loop. I was taught when I was programming to avoid breaks at all costs, so I tend to avoid these structures. If I have things that have breaks in them, I will try to have a sentinel value, and I'll keep my iterations going through. In fact, for something like this, I would use a while loop with a sentinel. But breaks are useful. Modern programming uses breaks a lot more than when I initially learned. And what a break statement does is we are in this block, and if I get a break, it will exit the block. And continue, when continue happens, continue skips over all of the body of the code and continues the while loop. So you don't leave the while loop, but you work your way to the very bottom of the block statement. So in this case, this continue skips the sum plus number, which puts us at the bottom of the loop. So break and continue are ways to help us control. And so let's look at a break and continue option here. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to look at this test continue, and we're going to print out as this runs what's happening with the numbers here. So we're going to do this while loop in, so I'm going to come over to Eclipse. I'll come over to my sandbox. I'm going to get rid of all the code I have in the sandbox that is here. And we're going to take this code from the slide. And so I'm going to have a sum equals 0 and a number equals 0. So integer sum equals 0 and integer number equals 0. And I'm going to make a while. And the comparison we're going to do is as long as the number is less than 20. So number is less than 20. And so now I'm in my while loop here. And we're going to increase number by 1 first. So number plus plus. Again, I'm just copying what's on the slide, but I'm not going to switch back and forth between the slide. And if the number equals 10, or the number equals 11, we're not going to add it to the list. So what we're going to say is if number equals 10 or number equals 11, we're going to continue. Oops, I didn't mean to put my brace here. Sorry about that. That added extra braces. And then we're going to say sum plus equals number. Now, what I'm going to do is so we can see what's happening here, I'm going to print line. I'm going to print my number. Actually, I'm going to use a printf. Number is %d number. The sum is %d number, and I'll make a new line. And so we want number comma sum. So we're just peeking to see what this will do. The slide doesn't do this peek. And so the continue is going to skip. So let's see what happens here. So notice number is 1. and the sum is 0 because I'm printing number before I've added the sum. Let me change the order I do these in. There we go. There we go. So the number is 1, the sum is 1. The number is 2, the sum is 3. And notice we work our way through, and then the continue statement comes around, and it skips. Right? So if number equals 10, we continue. And we exit with the continuation. Oh, I did less than 10. I want it to be less than 20. I was trying to figure out why it jumped out. Well, it got to 10 first. Let's run this again. That's better, going through 20. And so notice how it skips 10 and 11 here. Because I'm checking to see if it's 10 or 11, and I hit continue, continue jumps immediately to the end of the while block. It doesn't run anything else. And then at the end of the while block pops back up. So I can use a conditional here, and I can skip code with the continue statement. Now all I'm going to do to show how break works, so I want to put a break in here. Now break should exit the while loop once number equals 10. And it does. Break exits the while loop. So we have these controls, continue and break, that let us skip out of or to the very end of the while loop, which can help us control what code we're doing without having to write a whole bunch of if statements inside of it.